back, CT Sports Now. Rejoining you, and look who's joining us. Sean Patrick Bowley from Game Time CT.
I don't know why you guys have me on here.
I do.
We love you,
You
Sean.
add tremendous
I have no
insight.
idea why I'm here.
I don't know why you guys
right.
have me on.
He calls every week. No, he
wasn't at any lacrosse games.
But you follow it.
Saturday.
You follow it, and so
Wait,
I know.
Oh, yeah, I
what,
followed it.
How disappointed are you that you weren't in Norwalk night to see
You have no idea.
Darien?
So I'm trying to be a nice guy, okay? I'm trying to say there's so many games going. They're all getting pushed to one day.
Yeah,
This is like a little insider info. And everyone gets – and so I'm like, I'll go cover the SEC softball. We can send somebody somewhere else. No big deal. We got someone down at the McMahon. And then carnage happened. Of course, it's my fault. If I had gone, Darien would have won by 16 goals.
Jeff Braemar is on the phone. He's cursing you out. You needed to be here. Well, let's talk about that for a second, Sean, because Darien has lost some games this year, but not to Connecticut teams. And I don't think many people expected that if they were to lose a game, it was going to be to Wilton, despite the fact that Wilton has come on strong here. But let's talk about what this means now as we head into the state tournament, that you got Wilton pulling off an upset like that, and maybe now has to be in the conversation.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, it was a great defensive. They've been a great defensive team all year. I mean, they got Schreiber, who's one of their best defensemen, and then their goalie. He's great. He's going to Navy. They've been a great defensive team. They held Staples to only 3 goals. They won in overtime. The offense hadn't been coming along. They've had so many injuries. When are they going to put it together? Well, I guess now is the time. And defense wins championships. Look at this.
But didn't they had some guys injured early in the season. Some of their defenders were injured earlier in the season.
Yeah, I mean they had guys injured, and it just wasn't a complete team. So at the Staples game in the quarterfinals, they're like, well, we think we finally got all our guys back. You know, we have Calabrese, we have Schreiber, we have our attackmen. We think it's all coming together. And you're saying to yourself, yeah, they're playing Darien though next. And the joke's on us though, because they said we're not done, and guess what? They're not done.
No. And then you have the other game that turned out to be a sensational game between
the one we all wanted to
Ridgefield
see
and New Canaan, right? That we expected that to be tight.
Well, we kind of thought here you go. Here's the match for second place.
Yeah, well,
or at least to get the shot at Darien.
This is the game we all wanted to see. I mean, of course, I wanted to see it, and I wasn't there. That's another thing.
You saw good softball.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, so we get this absolute classic back and forth, and you have Kinnett scoring the winner at the buzzer, a buzzer-beating goal. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better day of lacrosse down at McMahon. I mean, the FCX is the premier conference in the state, and I'm praying for the same type of show tomorrow, which is Thursday. Yeah.
So would you consider, if you're going to look for that type of show, is anybody else an understudy? Prep, Guilford out of the SEC, are they all understudies when it comes to the FCX?
No one touches the FCX. Maybe I'll be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before, clearly. I think the question now you have this. You have Darien, which lost in last year's championship game to Ridgefield. Then you lost to Wilton now in the FCX. So now you're jilted twice.
Yeah, back then.
That's the story going into the state tournament now. Can Darien take all this year-long frustration, and can they now go on and win a Class L championship? And I think that is what we're going to be looking at. So obviously, New Canaan and Wilton are going to be playing for the FCX title. That's not going to be Darien's. What can they bring to the tournament? We don't know. But now it's Darien's time.
Have you tried to figure out the bracket? I mean, I think it comes out Friday. Have you figured out who's going to be on the opposite side, or who's going to be on Darien's side of?
Yeah, Darien is strange because they have enough losses where
they're not
they're not going to be the top seed. I think the top seed is going to be Ridgefield. I think. Yeah. And does that mean?
Yeah, because the FCX tournament doesn't count in those.
No,
seedings.
the FCX tournament doesn't count. But those out of conference games, minus the Brunswick game, they do count. Yeah. So any association school games like the one down in Long Island when they played St. Anthony's and Seton Hall Prep, those games count toward their seeding.
Yeah, and it looks like Darien, I mean, based on the way the CIAC has them now, Darien could be the fifth seed with Simsbury, Glastonbury, Fairfield Prep, and Ridgefield.
And that would put them right there in a collision course with Ridgefield. I mean, then you're looking at New Canaan sitting there at
6.
They're at 6. So they got the 6-3, and then so they're going to be on the other side of it. If I'm right.
Opposite the number 1.
They're going to be opposite the number 1, so that's good. You don't want them all on one side.
Right.
Unless you're prep, you're like, yeah, get them all on one side. So we don't have, But
Exactly.
not to say the prep can't beat them. They were right there with Buchanan. So this is going to be a fascinating. I don't care what happens tomorrow. Raise the trophy. You're the FCX champs. Congrats to whoever wins it. But the prize is the state championship. So that's the story now. Can Darien put all these frustrations aside? Because we've been, talking them up all year.
Well, it's great motivation, right? This is great. Like, hey, it's time for us to
if
go
you're
out
going
and
to
win a
get Darien,
championship.
you got to get them because clearly they've, we've said it all year. They're not vintage. They've got a bright future ahead of them. But that's got to be tough for them. So now the only way to atone for this is to win it all.
The man knows what he's talking about. He's
You hear me,
vintage,
Jeff?
and
He knows,
he's
too.
got plenty of potential as well. Sean Patrick Bowley, thank you so much.